What's up, you guys? It's YUGIOH coming at you guys with the deck profile. And in this video, we're going to be going over Volcanics. And I think this is one of the coolest archetypes I've ever seen, just because of the way that they play. They play like a burn deck, but they're also a control deck. So it's a really interesting way to play the game. And I personally feel like this will always be a good anti-meta deck, just because of the way it plays. And the cards you can use and have synergy with this deck. So let's get into this. We got 3 Volcanic Rocket, 3 Volcanic Scattershot, and 3 Volcanic Shell, and 3 Royal Firestorm Guard. They're just your engine cards. They get everything going for you, and they keep you in the game, and they give you consistency. They give you draw power. It gives you a power play in Scattershot. So it's a really it's the best engine for the deck, in my opinion. And then 2 Effect Veiler, because it's a tuner, and it's not weak to Twin Twisters, so it's a way to stop them, and they can't really play around it. And then or it's really hard to play around the Veiler. And then we have 1 YUGIOH because he helps you beat over monsters. He's a level 4. You can make rank 4s. He gives you 1,000 life, and he also plays around lose 1 turn. So why not? It's a tech option, so you guys can take it out for anything else you guys want. But I'm personally running it. You don't have to play it though. And then 1 Foolish Burial. I like Foolish because it just helps you set up your shell, to get more draws off reload. But at the same time, like at the very least, it can help you set up for a Royal Firestorm Guard. So Foolish is good in the deck, I think. And then we have 3 Power Duality. Power Duality is really, really strong. It just helps you get consistency and dig for like the deep good cards you need. So and the deck doesn't really special summon a lot ever. Like, you don't have to, so Power Duality is, in my opinion, is like a staple 3 of in the deck. And then we run 2 Magic Planter because we have a lot of continuous traps, and we just want to draw cards, and it helps get Blaze Accelerator, reload to the grave. But I'm not running it at 3 because I don't want to clog on it, but, I mean, you could run it at 3 if you guys want. I think that's the kind of standard way to do it, but I'm just running 2. And then I'm running 1 Twin Twister because you need at least 1 card to destroy back row, because sometimes you need to clear, like, your Dead Phoenix Chains or something. And it's also a good way to get Blaze Accelerator reload to the grave, because you can pop one of their cards and then like pop your reload, and then you can just use the reload to scattershot your opponent. So that's really good. And then for the traps, we're running triple Blaze Accelerator reload. Man, this card is a good example of when Konami does something correct. Like, they give an archetype an archetype specific card that gives the archetype a power play and consistency, and like the archetype is still very balanced. So like, this is a really good card from Konami. It's not too OP. If Volcanics had ways to just put big beaters on board like constantly, and just like also do everything that they're trying to do now with lose 1 turns and everything, then like it'd be OP. But the way the deck functions, this card is just a very solid card, and it's a good example of what Konami can do if they're doing something right. And then we have 3 lose 1 turn. Because it's just like, if this card didn't exist, this deck probably wouldn't be very playable. But because lose 1 turn exists, this deck is actually very playable, and in my opinion will always be a good anti-meta option, or a good rogue option for all you guys. And then we run 1 Vanities. Like, this is a tech option for me as well. You guys don't have to run Vanities. You guys can cut it for another Magic Planter, but I like Vanities because, you'll scattershot your opponent, and they'll try to recover, and then you flip Vanities, and it's like GG, because you stop their recovery play. So Vanities is still a good card. You don't have to run it though. And then I'm running 2 Phoenix Chain, because Phoenix Chain is like a way to stop attacks, so it helps protect your life. But then it also negates effects, and it's a continuous trap. So if it's dead, you can just Magic Planter it away. So Phoenix Chain's really good. And then Triple Strike and 1 Solemn, because they're really good against fighting your opponent's monsters. And I'm taking the 1 Chaos Shot Pole because I think it's really good this format, and you should be siding this card. So if you're playing a back row deck, so Chaos Shot Pole is really good. It's good against BA. It's good against Monarchs, and like, it can be dead versus Cosmos, but it still has some effect on the Cosmo deck. Like, it can do something against that deck given the right situation, so it's not completely dead. And then you have 1 Bottomless, just because it's a good way to get rid of your opponent's monster without targeting or destroying it and saying it's a grave. It just banishes it, so Cosmo ships won't float. You have to work harder for it. And then you have triple Sandstorm Mirror Force. I really like the Quaking Mirror Force in this deck, because it doesn't like destroy us into graves, so monsters don't really float, and it just turns them face down, so it protects your life. And then it helps you set up so you can make a Dweller and then scattershot your opponent. So I think Sandstorm Mirror Force is actually, in my opinion, kind of a staple in this deck. You can run 2, but I think that it's really good. So you guys should, you Volcanic players out there should definitely decide to try Sandstorm Mirror Force. I think it's really good. And then for the extra deck, before we go into that, I'd just like to say that the extra deck is basically all utility cards. This deck does not need an extra deck. Like the main deck is good enough, but the extra deck, the fact that you have an extra deck is good because it gives you utility. So for me, I'm running a couple synchros because of the Veilers. So I'm running one Trishula, one Nothung, one Armades, and one Formula Synchron. The reason why I'm running the Formula Synchron is because sometimes you just have a shell set, and then you want to summon a Veiler and just synchro to get a draw, and then later on, if it's still alive, you can normal summon like a Firestorm Guard, shuffle, draw 2, and then synchro for a Nothung. And I like Nothung in this deck because he kind of does a very similar goal that this deck does. It burns your opponent and it helps you poke for damage. And like Nothung, it can kind of get over bigger monsters than YUGIOH can because it makes them monster also lose 800 attack. So I think Nothung's actually a pretty interesting card to play with the Formula Synchron combo. So you guys should definitely consider it. And then the Armada is because it just stops your opponent from, like Psy-Frames or some weird deck you're playing against, or like some, I don't know, something like that. And then the Trishula because, you can make it with 2 level 4s and a Veiler, and it's just like an advantage kind of card. And then for the Exceeds, we run one Utopia the Lightning. I know you guys in Europe don't have it, but I'm pretty sure you guys all know how to, do without it at this point. Until you guys get it, unless you guys already have it, which I'm not sure if you guys do. Let me know in the comment section if they have it already. But then it's really good for you guys in here in America. You just play the card because it's good against Cosmos and stuff and helps you go for game, and because you're already burning their life anyway. And then one Castel, one Karen Gorgon, one Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, one 101. I'm running Gaga Samurai because if you scatter shot your opponent and then make a Gaga Samurai, you can hit for a lot of damage, more than just like a rocket and like a Firestorm Guard. And if you have 2 rockets, you don't need to make it, but it is there in case you have like a full board of monsters. You just want to make extra damage. And then one that Gust Emerald just to recycle in case Firestorm Guards are all in the grave and you want to recycle those. And then Gaga Cowboy because it's just like another way to end the game, situational. But like I said, everything in here is utility. It's all situational cards. And then 2 Dweller because if your deck can run 2 Dwellers, if you have the room for it, you should definitely do it because this extra deck is very lenient. It's not tight at all. And then Dweller is one of the better cards this format, and like making a Dweller and then scattershotting your opponent is just it feels so good. And that's the deck. Any other thoughts you guys have? I think that you could probably take out the Vanities for Regeki if you really want to, or the Draghetto for Regeki. But I kind of like the tech option there. You can side the Regeki. And then, this deck has a lot of ways to stop effects. It has like a counter trap, it has strike, so you can negate effects with strike, and it's hard to stop. You can use, Phoenix Chain to stop attacks, and Veiler, they can't really play around it, and it is a tuner. So this deck still has a lot of versatility, and it's a very strong deck. It'll always be a good anti-meta pick. So let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comment section below. And if you guys like this video, please give it a like. It helps the channel grow. I'd really appreciate it. And if you guys like my content, then subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Thank you guys very much for watching. Take care.